Hello, Candace. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
Great.
We are surrounded by your gorgeous art that feels so good. Tell us how you create these incredible pieces that just feel so good, Candace.
Well, they're actually quantum,
Okay.
so they're sentient.
What does that mean?
Basically, first of all, they're channeled pieces.
Okay.
So
And
if
what does
I
that
get-
mean?
Okay,
What does that
if I
mean?
get in, say, a meditative state,
Okay.
I am then showing, or I just kind of know I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I start. So it's not planned out, it's not drawn out, it's all, I might just get, okay, use purple, use this, that.
Yeah.
And then I'm in a particular state where they flow. I'm
Right.
in a state of
Is it like
pure
a
flow.
trance? Is it like a
Yeah,
trance
kind of.
almost? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So it's pure flow.
Yeah.
And I do them in one go.
Nice.
So whether they're this big or large.
Yeah.
And I incorporate quantum energetics in them. So intentionality,
Okay.
conscious use of color, which
Nice.
goes by the ancient Ayurvedic healing
Nice.
method of what the color resonates to in terms of the chakra
Right,
wheels.
right.
So, for example, green resonates to heart. It's the same
love it.
vibration.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
It isn't just, oh, we like it.
Yes.
It's a very ancient science.
Yeah.
So I incorporate that. I will incorporate things that I found. I do a lot of hardcore expedition.
Expedition? Okay.
And if I can find sand, for example, wherever I am, whether
okay.
it's Sahara, whether it's Arctic, Antarctica,
Cool.
I bring that back and I put it in a copper device that I have in my studio that renders it a natural organic ingredient into a 0-point state.
Oh, wow.
Which is a state of perfect balance.
Wow.
And the organic substances hold that perfect balance forever.
Nice.
So I treat the sand, and then I have quite a lot of choices of sand now.
Nice.
So I'll just hear Oman. Okay, I'll use the sand from Wahhabi Desert,
Wow.
from Oman, when I'm doing this painting. I just listen, I just told.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I mix it into the paint.
Yeah.
It gives it, I mean, that's not really what I do, but it does give it texture.
Yes,
You see
yes.
the
I'm looking at the
impasto?
beautiful texture, yeah.
And I also use crushed seashells.
Crushed seashells, wow. Okay.
Which is treated the same way for 0 pointing.
Okay.
And that gives really much thicker texture.
Yeah, yeah, wow.
I do add powdered gemstones of certain types.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the painting, I'm guided by a crystal diva.
Oh,
who
wow.
comes sort
Yeah.
of, she's interesting.
Yeah.
She's quartz, and she comes
Yeah.
skinning in, what do you want, I'm busy. Yeah. This painting, what should we, oh, 6 of that, 8 of that, gotta go. So I never or rarely would add more than 2 because they can conflict.
Okay.
And I cleanse them, and then I program the crystals.
Wow.
So that they will do the healing for which they were created.
Wow.
And then they sit in moonlight, sunlight, before eventually I put them on the painting. And again, I'm just guided where.
Wow.
Here, ha, 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 ha.
That's incredible.
And it's done. So it's not about seeing glitter
Yeah.
at all. It's not about seeing the gemstones.
Yeah.
Because even if you have a couple of small pieces, they have huge resonance.
Wow.
So the pieces are constantly resonating energetics and healing energetics.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
been feeling it all weekend.
Yeah,
Just,
everyone
yeah,
who's talked to me
yeah.
has said the
So
same
good,
thing.
so good.
Because they do. They 24/7, and whether it's in this room, in your house, I use them to treat horses. So I like to put them, if I can, in their stall.
Wow.
Because it's raining down on them all the time.
That's amazing.
And, again, the horses just know. They just show me, I want, sacral chakra or heart chakra, whatever they need.
You just go in there?
And if I take the painting
Yeah.
to the horses and I try to, okay, you said you wanted the green chakra.
Yeah.
Just to simplify, and I hold a red one and a yellow one. No, green. The rest, not interested. The green, they snuffle it, they lick it, they roll it, they try to eat it.
Wow.
They're crazy for the energy. It's extraordinary.
And so most horses like the green chakra? Is that what you're saying?
was just an
That's
example.
just an example.
Each
Okay.
horse is like a human.
Different,
If the horse has communication problems.
they'll go for the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they do communicate. They show me a film
Yeah.
of what is going on from past life, and that's why their news heard or whatever.
That's incredible.
And it can be like a winter icy day
Yeah.
that brings it to the forefront
Wow.
for them to heal it and release it. So then I'm painting where the owners never call me the horse.
Yeah.
Painting away, you gotta come. So, okay. So I just text the owners, I gotta come.
amazing.
So it's really powerful stuff.
Wow.
And I do have some big collections in hospitals, in ashrams, in hotels.
Amazing.
The hospitals are really interesting because whether it's staff or visitors, or of course the patients.
Yeah.
And they're all benefiting. And plus it's shifting up the vibration of the entire place.
Wow.
So it's very interesting because in the first hospital, which was Peterborough, they weren't really quite ready to say yes.
Okay.
And they had a donor that had been very generous for years. And he said, look, this is just something I'm doing on the side with a friend of mine. Do you want to look?
Yeah.
And so they hemmed and hawed. I'm like, okay, these are for free for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, they finally said yes. And oh my gosh, not that long later, they said, we think we have to put a notice up saying, go back to work. The entire staff is hanging out.
Gravitate there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one patient there, it's in an
atrium?
Sort of an atrium space, and he was up, I don't know, 4 floors or something, but somehow from his bed he could see some of them.
Yeah.
He'd come in as an emergency case. He had really no idea what he was looking at.
Yeah.
And one night they came back and said, we're really sorry, we want to operate in the morning. And he said, unplug everything, wheel this bed down there.
Oh, wow.
So they did, and let him stay with the paintings for some hours. And
Wow.
he said each one had a board with it explaining the metaphysics, what the gemstones do, what the colors do, so on and so forth. And the man said, you know what, I knew all this. From my bed, I knew this information.
Wow.
So that was really beautiful to hear.
That's amazing.
Because there's someone that fully appreciated what they were doing.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So that's why you're feeling, and you don't have to be looking at them.
No,
they're just constantly.
it's just.
I mean, I can feel them here. This one behind me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had a lovely woman that was over here earlier at my booth, and she came over and she said, "This purple one is for healing depression." I said, "Yeah." There's 8 in the series. That's exactly why I created them.
Wow.
She's the first person that's ever noticed that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And she said, I have several clients that are very depressed.
Yeah.
And she had already channeled those colors to help him.
Right.
So when she saw the painting, she
it was just
thought,
like,
wow, instant recognition, right? So that was really beautiful.
That's
because,
amazing.
Not everybody understands the metaphysics.
Yeah.
It's a different concept for art.
Yeah, yeah.
Art's very slotted.
Yeah.
It's just to fill space on my wall.
Yes, yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard for people to accept that there may be
healing
more
qualities
going on with a piece. And when you say they're sentient, I don't know, people are, that's
that freaks people out.
Well, it's too much.
Yeah.
And I am a quantum energetic healer.
Yeah.
And sometimes a painting will just appear. If I'm going to do a treatment with you tomorrow, all of a sudden a chakra will come and say, I want to work on her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
That's amazing.
So then I send you a picture, and then in the treatment, the painting comes in, tells me when it's coming in, and it does its work, and it reports back. I'm in this chakra, you keep working, I'm doing this, that.
That's
so
amazing.
it's fascinating. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like having a little helper.
It's
a little helper while you do the healing.
And it's all channeled, guided.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I have studied for that part of it. Yes, I've done a lot of study of quantum energetics.
Okay.
But this is all, it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
They're sentient.
I accept it.
Like,
yeah.
You know what you're doing. I need to get out of the way. And that's the same with painting. Though.
Yeah. That's so beautiful.
If I put my brain in, it will change the energetics.
Yes. I just got chills. It does.
Right? It doesn't make it a bad painting.
No.
But it will change the quality of the energetics of that piece.
Because there's a purity of you channeling this energy, and it's not about your ego and your mind.
A vehicle.
Yeah, you're a vehicle. That's exactly.
And so then if a painting, especially abstract, they do need to stand up in terms of light and dark, weight. It's a structure.
Yeah.
And so then I do, when I think I'm done, and I stand back and look with my brain.
Yeah.
Okay, does this work?
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like needs a bit of weight here or a bit of weight there. And, that's just the recipe for disaster because I can't stop.
Yeah.
I do one little mark there.
Yeah.
And then I look again and then I think, oh, darn. Now I have to rebalance it with that. Well, then in 5 minutes, it's done.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same.
Energetically.
Right.
Somebody looking at art might not notice at all.
yeah.
But I know that energetically it's not the same piece anymore.
Yeah.
So, and then usually for me, well, then that's...
Yeah.
I try
You get rid of it?
Well, no, I might... It's because it's oil paint on canvas.
Yeah.
Once it's dry, you can work over.
Right, okay.
And I try to learn from that.
Yeah,
Do you know, if I spend $300 or $500 of paint on it...
Wow.
I'm loath to just chuck it.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just try to think, okay, purple background, what we got?
Yeah.
Sometimes it works.
That's amazing. How does it feel? How does it feel when you're making these?
Like, you're just in the flow.
Yeah.
So
it just feels good?
And I do need to be in that flow or it isn't a successful painting, especially with abstract.
Yeah.
If you're, which I have done, and
Yeah.
I used to do, as I say, I used to paint what I see,
Yeah.
and now I see what I paint.
Oh, I love that.
And so if you're painting, I'll call it figurative or realism,
Yeah.
you can go in there every day
Yeah.
and add a little more to the building, the tree, whatever.
Right.
But for me, I don't think abstract works that way.
Yeah.
And I need to be able, especially if it's coming from an expedition, to put myself back in that place during the expedition so I remember the emotion. And the emotion's very tangible.
Wow.
And then I know I'm ready. When I just hit a sweet spot, and then boom.
Yeah.
And then it pours out. So if it's from the high Arctic, okay, it's probably going to be in blues and whites. So I might have got that more or less in my mind.
Yeah.
So then when I'm ready, I use those colors.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare that I don't start with at least an idea.
Right. A tiny bit of inspiration.
Well, remember that going up that mountain was so hard.
Yeah.
The emotional part. Not the physical, but what was it doing inside of me?
Yeah.
That's what I try to
That's what you're channeling into the
to.
painting. Yeah.
And then when I know I do, then when I start whatever channels through that emotional, it's almost like a window or a doorway, a portal that allows you to enter into that very deep emotional discovery for myself.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you know, it's a search for truth.
Yeah, I love that.
Inside.
I love that.
Right?
Wow.
So it's a very powerful exercise.
Amazing.
But it's changed over the years. At first, if I didn't make that emotional connection, the paintings weren't as great, but terrible depression.
Oh, wow.
People think, often they say, oh, how fun, you playing paint all day. And I say, yeah, that's why so many abstract artists have committed suicide. That's how fun it is. Like, they don't understand.
They don't get it,
how profound this process is to do true abstract painting, which are created.
Yeah.
They really are, from the depths of your being.
Yeah.
So now that I'm on a whole different level, I would say spiritually and metaphysically, that doesn't play out the same way.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because there's a point where it's really tough going for your mental health.
Yeah, I bet.
So this is really just being in the flow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, wow.
So I use very sacred music for me when I play, or silence.
Okay.
Do you know, like Hathors or something like that? Otherwise,
wow,
I can't.
That's amazing. Do you ever paint in public places, or is this always private? Yeah.
It seems to me, for me, it feels a bit gimmicky.
Yeah.
It's not what my work is.
No.
It's very deep. It's very
profound.
Sacred. It's sacred. I need to be in a certain space. In order to do that. I'm not going to be talking with you. Yeah, sure, I can spread paint around.
Yeah.
But it is not going to be the
same intentionality.
No.
Yeah.
The same resonance at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of an afterthought or fiddling around.
That's amazing.
Right? So I'm not game for that.
Yeah. Wow.
So
amazing. So Candace, where can people find your art if they want to explore your collections? Do you sell online? Like, how is it
that you...
Yes,
I do sell online.
Okay.
My website is CandaceWilsonArtStudio.com.
Okay.
And then I'm also on some rather larger and more renowned online, like Singular out of Paris, Saatchi out of London.
Nice.
And so on, and some other things in Europe.
Yeah.
My studio's here in Toronto. I'm always, people are more than welcome to come by appointment because it's not on ground floor.
Yeah.
And it just has to work out.
Yeah. Awesome.
So,
Yeah. Well, it's been great getting to know you this weekend and having this little interview with you.
Thank you. What a pleasure.
I pray that you continue to bring your art to, you know, bigger and better places that can really benefit from the healing qualities and the beauty. So, and you are a beauty, and I'm so grateful we're connected. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Okay.
And thanks for giving me this opportunity to express
my
what
joy.
you do.
Yeah.
Because it's often missed.